Hi, this is Dr. Swanberg, and I'm going over something we learned in class today called locating subjects and verbs. Locating subjects and verbs is really the key to correct sentences, and we're going to go over it before we do any kind of other sentence structure skills. When we went over this in class, we learned a little bit more about some of the other parts of a sentence, prepositional phrases, objects, etc. So you want to make sure that you get those notes from up here. First, we're going to discuss what a verb is. A verb is the action in a sentence, but it can also be a state of being. Don't forget that these ideas can be actions. Any form of the word to be, am, is, are, was, or were, are verbs of being, and anything that is a state of being, how you feel, think, exist, stay, sit, are also verbs. So a verb is an action or a state of being. Verbs in this presentation will always be green. What is a subject? In particular, we're talking about the simple subject. The whole subject can include modifiers, but when we're talking about the simple subject, we're talking about the one noun or pronoun in a sentence that is performing the action or doing the verb. Remember, it's not just any noun in a sentence. Nouns can do other jobs in a sentence. They can be objects of a preposition, but we're looking for the noun or pronoun that serves as the subject of the sentence, and we know that it's the subject of the sentence because it's the word that's performing the verb. Okay, pronouns can be subject too, so don't forget that he, she, we, you, they, everyone, someone, no one, all of these can also be subjects. In this presentation, subjects will always be red. Let's take a look. See if you can find the subject and the verb in this very simple sentence below. Amy likes cheese for breakfast. Pause this recording if you need to, and then check your work. Here they are. Amy is the subject, likes is the verb. Amy likes cheese for breakfast. This sentence could also use a pronoun instead of the name Amy, instead of any person's name. She likes cheese for breakfast. In this case, the pronoun she is the subject, likes is still the verb. Remember, the subject of the sentence is not the same thing as the topic of a sentence. The topic of a sentence is too up for debate. A sentence may be about cheese or breakfast, but if she or Amy is doing the verb, or performing the action, or doing the liking in this case, then Amy or she is the subject. In this way, if someone tells you that the subject of the sentence is cheese, you can say, no, the subject is Amy and what she likes, because Amy is doing the liking. Let's try a few more. Locate the subject-verb in the following simple sentences below. Pause this presentation if you need to while you do this prep work. My little dog eats my shoes. I hate homework. My sister is a mean girl. My car needs new brakes. Take a moment and find each subject and verb. Let's check your work. My little dog eats my shoes. Dog is the subject, eats is the verb. I hate homework. The pronoun I is the subject, hate is the verb. Homework is the object. It's what's being hated. My sister is a mean girl. Sister is the subject, is the verb, and remember that's a state of being. She is a mean girl. Mean girl is object, that's what she is, and my is a modifying pronoun that tells us whose sister it is. My car needs new brakes. Car is the simple subject, needs is the verb. It does get trickier than this. Sometimes certain sentences reverse the order of our subjects and verbs, making it harder to find them. This is true of questions. Remember to always ask yourself, what is the action and what is performing the action? Try these. Why are you so sad? Is your mother at home? Where is your car? There is a lost dog on my street. Here are some candies for your daughter. Pause this presentation for a moment if you need to, while you identify the subject and the verb in each sentence. Let's check your work. In the first question, why are you so sad? Are is the verb, and you is what is so sad. So you are the subject. Is your mother sat at home? Is the verb, and mother is the subject. Mother is at home. Where is your car? Again, the verb is, and car is what we're wondering about, so car is the subject. There is a lost dog on my street. Is the subject, not there. Don't be tricked into thinking that the first word in the sentence is always your subject. Here, is the verb, and dog is the subject. In this case, dog follows the verb. Here are some candies for your daughter. Are is the verb, and candies is the subject. Again, here is just a pronoun that helps us to know what we're talking about. Remember that verbs can have more than one part. Many verb tenses use helping verbs or auxiliary verbs or connecting verbs to tell time and number. For example, each verb between the commas is a single verb. Is going, has been working, are trying, were helping, has looked, had gotten. Each pair or set of words creates a verb phrase. When we're asking you to identify a verb, we're asking you to identify the whole verb phrase. Multi-part verbs might be separated. Multi-part verbs might be separated by other words like not or really, which are qualifiers or adverbs, depending on the sentence. Look at the examples below. He has not really tried. The verb here is has tried. Our sister is probably never going home. The verb here, is going, is separated by the phrase probably never. His dog has never eaten his shoes. Again, the verb has eaten has been interrupted by the qualifier never. Her car was mostly using 87 octane gas. Again, the phrase was using is interrupted by the qualifier mostly. Take a moment and pause this presentation if you need to find the multi-part verbs in the following sentences. I am swimming at the pond today. Lester will not swim at the pond again. Dogs do not often chew their owner's slippers. Flights are being canceled at the airport. My flight has not yet been canceled. I was not finished with my dinner. She was not thinking about the consequences. Let's check your work. In the first sentence, am swimming is the verb. The subject is I. Lester will not swim. The verb is will swim. Not simply interrupts that verb. Dogs do not often chew their owner's slippers. The verb here is do chew. Flights are being canceled. Here, are being canceled is a three-part verb. My flight has not yet been canceled. Has been canceled is another three-part verb, interrupted this time by the phrase not yet. I was not finished with my dinner. The verb is was finished, and it's interrupted by not. She was not thinking about the consequences. Once again, was thinking is the complete verb. Subjects can also be multi-part. Sometimes subjects have more than one part as well, so make sure you locate all the parts of the subject and do not include any modifiers in between them. Remember, there's a difference between the whole subject and the simple subject, and we're talking about the simple subject. Even a simple subject can have more than one part. Here, my older sister and my younger brother is the complete subject phrase. However, we're looking for the simple subject, which here would be sister and brother. The other words are modifiers describing that the sister is older and the brother is younger, but the simple subject still has two parts, sister and brother. Take a moment and try to locate these multi-part simple subjects. My mother and I like candy. My sister and my brother argue often. My dog and her little furry friends like to play. My shoes and my new belt are too small. My mother and father got a divorce. My brother, sister, and I look like my father. Pause this presentation for a moment while you try to practice this. Let's check your work. My mother and I like candy. Mother and I is the subject. Sister and brother is the subject in the second sentence. Dog and friends is the simple subject in the third sentence. Shoes and belt are the subject in the fourth. Mother and father in the fifth. Brother, sister, and I in the last sentence. Be careful about ing words. Believe it or not, an ing word is never a verb all by itself. Every ing word needs a helping verb to serve as a verb. When an ing word does not have a helping verb with it, it may be doing the job of a noun, which we call a gerund, or an adjective, which we call a gerundive. When an ing word can be replaced by a noun, it is doing the job of a noun. It might even be your subject. Let's take a look. Here, the ing word has a helping verb and acts as a verb. I am swimming at the lake. The subject is I. Am swimming is a two-part verb. However, in the sentence below, like is the verb, and the ing word can be replaced by a noun. I like swimming is the same as the sentence I like candy, and so they are doing the same job in the sentence. In each sentence, they are the object of the sentence, or what I like. I enjoy running. I enjoy music. Again, one would not mistake candy or music for a verb, and just as they are nouns, swimming and running are nouns that serve as objects in these sentences, saying what is liked and what is enjoyed. Ing words can even serve as your subject. Look at the sentences below. Remember, it helps to try replacing the ing word with a noun. If it can be replaced by a noun, it's doing the job of a noun. Swimming is fun is the same construction as math is fun or golf is fun. You know that golf is not a verb, and it's in the same position in the sentence as swimming. Swimming is fun. It is the noun that is doing the verb, or is. Knitting seems tricky. Math seems tricky. Math is clearly not a verb, so knitting is clearly not a verb. Knitting is what seems tricky. Therefore, it is doing the verb, and it is the subject of your sentence. Sharing feels hard. Steel feels hard. Steel is a material that we know to be a noun. Sharing, thus, must also be a noun. It is what feels hard. Therefore, it is what is enacting the verb, feels, and it is the subject of your sentence. Try it yourself. See if you can locate the subjects and verbs in the following sentences containing ing words. I am running for class president next year. I dislike silly joking at work. Sleeping late feels like a treat on weekends. Working hard is keeping your grades up. Let's check your work. I am running for class president. In the first sentence, am running is a two-part verb, and I is the subject. In the second sentence, I is the subject, and dislike is the verb. Joking is the object of the sentence. Sleeping late feels like a treat on weekends. Here, sleeping is your subject because feels is your verb, and sleeping is what feels like a treat. Working hard is keeping your grades up. Here, we have both at work. Is keeping is a two-part verb that uses an ing with the helping verb is, and working is the gerund, and it is what is keeping your grades up, therefore it is the subject of the sentence. This is the end of our presentation. You can review it as many times as you need to be able to succeed on our Locating Subjects and Verbs quiz.